It's the morning of October 18th, 8:11 a.m. I'm going to walk you through these documents, show you how this was done. I'm going to remind you in the initial interview of Jeffrey Tramentine between parole agent Stephanie Denisenzo and him, he admits through a pre-sentence report that it was him that sold the heroin with a kid by the name of Anthony Milligan. As this progressed, a bunch of upset agents or kind or whatever drug team wanted to refer that manipulated this case. I have all the documentation to prove this. This goes on. This was hidden for a lot of years. Even after I got out, I got back in the courts through a United States court for the Eastern District of Michigan. That's the habeas corpus right there. That's the case number. It was put in front of Victoria Roberts. There's my syllabus and the exhaustion of all my state rights. That attorney also covered up them issues. Basically, through the whole thing, the next thing that I will point out to you, if you can read the highlighted areas here. Some of that, it says the state of Michigan at or during Reconstruction periods capitalized on the will of a military dictator and lost their independent sovereign standing under the law of nations and became revenue-raising serfs of a populated territory belonging to the District of Columbia. Moore's Digest on International Law, Volume 1, subsection 96 through 110. Letters Dorfer versus Webb, 61 U.S. 176, 177 through 178, 1858. Of U.S. First Relics, 14 Howard, 189, 1852. U.S. First Powers Hires. Underneath that says, all criminal ordinances, rules, regulations, statutes, codes, custom, policy, and practices are designed and intended to secure the private enforcement of private contracts. C.F. Taylor versus Tanter, 83 U.S. 1872. Every particular private law which directly purports to destroy or affect individual rights or does the same thing by affording remedies leading to similar consequences is unconstitutional and void. See Munn versus Illinois, 94 U.S. 113, 1878. I will also describe exclusiveness of remedies. Title 28, subsection 2679, exclusiveness of remedy. B1, the remedy against the United States provided by sections 1336B and 2672 of this title for injury or loss of property or personal injury or death arising or resulting from the negligent or wrongful act or omission of any employee of the government while acting within the scope of his office or employment is exclusive of any other civil action, or of his office or employment is exclusive of any other civil action proceeding for money damages by reason of same subject matter against the employee whose act or omission gave rise to the claim or against the state of such employee. I'll explain everything. This is the evidence of the breach of oath of office. I also have everything throughout the whole process, but let me read you this statement. It was received September 30th, 2008 by Dixon County Prosecuting Attorney. This says, Dear Prosecuting Attorney Nina Mia, I am writing this letter to you to inform you that I lied on my police statement and to apologize. The truth of the matter is my statement was all true except for Jeff Tramentine was in Drew Peltola's shoes. I'll just let you read that, give you enough. That statement was kept out of trial by Christopher S. Nina Mia and Grant Carlson. There are their names. This is my defendant's supplemental witness and exhibit list. There is a list of witnesses that put me in a different city while the control buy happened between Stacy Monday, Anthony Milligan, scratch that, Stacy Monday, Jeff Tramentine, and Barbara Oshashanik. Here is the court transcripts that proves my attorney sold me out. The court, your first witness, Mr. Carlson, the defense rests. Yes, Your Honor. Here's the proof of the conspiracy of deprivation of rights under color of law. This is Mr. Nina Mia. Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, just briefly, a few legal matters to address just before bringing the jury in. First of all, we would formally move to amend the amended information in this case. This is in the middle of a trial. This is an ambush technique to deny me of any way to beat this case. All of these issues are preserved through this petition. When I got out of prison, Jim Sundquist began locking me up to miss my filing dates to seek relief on this United States petition for writ of habeas corpus. This was even furthered by other people. Through contacting lawyers, I talked to several lawyers about my constitutional rights violation. This is just one of the letters where I was contacted. This is a place called Newman and DeForge and Matthew, PC. Confidential. These people tell me, after giving this matter my careful consideration, we must decline to accept this representation. Please be advised that you may have a very short amount of time in which to take further action. Attempt to find a second opinion from an attorney specializing in civil rights claims. I have a claim. Every attorney I've contacted are afraid to stand up against this people. This is another attorney I contacted, Grant Parsons, out of Traverse City, that was going to take my case, but lo and behold, here, I was tricked again by an attorney from the same exact law firm as the attorney from my trial. This is my signature. I signed one piece of paper, UCC 31, all rights reserved, by Drew James Peltola. So this conspiracy is great. It's huge. So I couldn't find an attorney to take my case. I began to look into other things such as secured party creditor, sovereignty, stuff like that. These are my documents. This is a financial statement. Makes me a secured party creditor. Power of attorney limited. This is my memoranda of law with points and authorities on sovereignty of the people in relation to the government of several compacto, de facto states and federal government. You can see that's time dated, stamped. My accounts, them are all leaned. American Axle, if you're listening, this has nothing to do with you, and I will not pursue any legal actions, remedy, or recourse against you. This is my certificate of live birth for those of you out there that think you can put me in front of an administrative law judge for deportation. You're straight crazy. I can argue this in several different ways, and I've studied it for 10 years. This is something called the Power of Attorney Limited. These are legal documentations. They're filed in the UCC division in the Commercial Registry through the state of Michigan, Lansing. This is also back from Mary B. Barglin, 41st Circuit Court. She time dated stamped my documents. At this point, these are my receipts for the money orders, the certified mail orders. Here is